Hello everyone, I'm back like magic. I'm back. Okay. I'm still holding Loki. I figured I'd put him down by now, but he's so fun to hold. I love holding 60 centimeter dolls. They're so fun to hold. Like, I'm sorry, Rye, who is my favorite. I love him so much. He will always be my favorite. Like, it's kind of funny how like he'll, no matter what new doll I get, like, and how much I love him at the time or even later, I come right back to him. I just adore him. But holding him, he's 72 centimeters. Holding him doesn't work out too well because you can't really stand him. It's very awkward and his legs are super long. So, yeah. But holding 60 centimeter dolls are just perfect. I love it. To me, it's funny how like everyone has a perfect size, like, going up and up. To me, 60 centimeter is like the perfect size for me. I just love it. But anyway, so I'm actually doing a prompt video, which I haven't done in a while, and I plan to do some more at some point, but I wanted to do this one while it was all fresh in my mind. This is actually for prompt number 9, I believe. BJD horror stories. I actually, it's funny because until then I had like the customary horror stories, really did. Like, for starters, with Rye here, who as I just said, I love him, but when I first got him, dolls own strings their dolls like really tight. Sometimes a little too tight, sometimes completely way too tight, but he was actually strung. He was strung too tight, but not ridiculously so, but I wanted to put his eyes in, so I took his head off. And I did it the first day I got him, and seeing someone take off their a doll's head and put it back on, and like watching it, it looks super easy. But doing it yourself for the first time, it was totally not easy, especially because he's strung a little too tight. So I tried to put his head on, and I ended up crying because I could not get it back on. It was really sad. I couldn't get it back on. I kept trying to lift it, and my fingers just couldn't do it. Finally, I had to. The door. Sorry. Finally, I had to get pliers to do it, which made me super, super nervous. I never want to use pliers again for it. Now I use like shoestrings and stuff to lift it up because I felt like I was just scratching him all to hell inside his head. But yeah, I was like crying. It was a whole mess. And ever since then, I have like a big phobia of taking his head off. Not anyone else's, but his. Really, it's kind of funny. The same thing, weirdly enough, actually happened with my doll Chateau Pierre, because um, I guess maybe because it's the sister company of Doll Zone, they also string their dolls really tight, and his the notches where the S hook goes are kind of shallow, like they're not really deep. Is that what that means? I can't. But anyway, it's not very deep, so I couldn't catch it at first, and it was really frustrating. But his was more frustrating. I got the hang of it eventually, especially with how tight he was strung. And then I had Elia, my Decadal Lola, who I took off her head, and I dropped it. Like, to this day, I'm like, this poor creature. I dropped her head, scratched her face up. This is the first day I got her. I also later trying to put a necklace on. It was actually Erin that could make a necklace. Actually scratched her neck. It was just like, really, with this doll? And then I got the grand idea to wipe her factory face up to do my own, and I still haven't been able to replace it because I just cannot get her face up right. She and herself is just a whole horror story. But the biggest horror story, to date just happened during my move. I had the stupidest idea that no one in life should do ever. I don't even know why I thought it was a good idea. I will never know why I thought this was a good idea. But I just basically, it was the first day I could get into my apartment, so the Thursday before last. And I just wanted to get all my dolls moved so they were not in the way of the movers, and I wanted them to be safe and out of the way. And any smart person would have, taken, like I have a doll bag. I could have easily like placed a couple at a time in the doll bag and taken them up the stairs, and then, just made several trips, which I actually would not have minded, especially in retrospect, but I wouldn't have minded. But I had a grand idea, and this grand idea was to take this box. I had this really super big box that I couldn't really use for anything else because it was just so big. And my grand idea, it was to pack all my SDs except for my Sabic in it. So that was 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12. I have 12 SDs and then my Sabic. I decided to pack 12 SDs into a box and bring that up the stairs. First of all, if you've ever carried one SD, you should know that after a while, your arm starts to hurt, your shoulder starts to hurt. I mean, they don't weigh as much as a lot of things, but I don't know what it is, but resin just gets friggin' heavy. And I had packed all 12 of them into one box. I still do not understand why I was thinking with this logic. It wasn't even pure laziness. I just thought it was a good idea because I didn't think it'd weigh that much, but it did. Not only that, so I picked it up thinking, oh, I'll just be able to trot this up the stairs. It'll be fine. That's not what happened. I picked it up and it was so heavy, and I took a few steps with it in my hand thinking, oh, I got this. And my foot got caught in my cable cord that connects my computer to the modem. It got caught in that, and I almost fell with 12 dolls in my hand. And I literally almost fell. This isn't where you kind of trip. I almost landed, it almost flew out of my hand. And that will probably be one of the worst things. I'll think back on it, it'll be one of those things I'll think back on months, maybe years later, that was so stupid. Oh my god, my phone just scared the crap out of me. I'm so sorry. It's so loud in this apartment. It scared the crap out of me. My heart but sorry about that. But anyway, I'll probably think on that and just go, that was so ridiculous, because it was literally ridiculous. It was stupid. It was fantastically stupid. And the fact that they almost flew out of my hand, not even, just the thought of it, because I'm I mean, resin is tough. I understand that, but not only did they almost fly, I mean, there was the dolls were stacked on top of each other, so I have a fear that the bottom dolls, which included my Sard, who took forever to get, and who I technically kinda, unless soon releases them again, that I can't replace, he was on the bottom. That, yeah, just thinking about it. So yeah, that's why I decided to do prop number 9, because I'm that's a horror story if I've ever heard one. Because I'm restraining stuff. I had Like, until then, I thought the worst was, and I forgot to mention this before, was when I was restraining my Bobobi Apollo and I couldn't get his foot back on. And I was tired and I'd been trying to get his foot back on for like something ridiculous, like an hour. And my fingers just gave out. That, like, they were just so tired, they kind of gave out. And I was holding the elastic with the hook on the end, and they were just so tired. They slipped and kind of let go, and the S hook like shot into my finger. Um, I thought that was going to be the worst thing that had happened. Like, I thought that would just be it. No, that in comparison, I'm like, I'd rather go through that pain again, which was really painful, than to have that ever happen again. Because, like, seriously, I wouldn't have known what to have done, and it would have been all my damn fault. Like, yeah. And then what's so funny though is I didn't even freaking learn my lesson, and I ended up carrying them in that box all the way up to the front of my apartment building, up to the 3rd floor. So it's like I didn't even learn my lesson. I could have still fallen with all those dolls in my hand. Even though I washed my feet after that, that doesn't matter. Still shouldn't have done it. I should have learned my lesson and started taking them out and putting them in the doll bag and just going up one by one. But I was just like out of my mind, apparently, and that had like shocked me that much that I just went crazy. So yeah, that's my doll horror stories for you. So yeah, wasn't that enjoyable? Don't ever do that, ever. I'm telling you, ever. Like, ever. Like, stupid me. So yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have any other doll horror stories, and nothing that compared to that. Hopefully, I will never have anything that beats that. I mean, I can't tell what the future will bring, but yeah, I kind of want that to be like the worst. So yeah, that is all. Thank you for watching. Bye.